It's your bear here. Have you ever wondered about Ren Amamiya's parents from Persona 5? Who would allow a high schooler to go to prison and then ship them off to live with some stranger? That seems pretty weird, right? Well, not too much is known about Ren's parents in-game. He just kind of appears onto the scene in Persona 5 after having been forced to transfer schools and leave his parents' custody. But I think the story of his parents is actually really well detailed in another Atlus game, Catherine. Bear with me now, and obviously spoilers ahead. Now, before we talk about Ren's parents, I need to make sure that you're caught up on Catherine and its remake, Catherine Full Body. This romantic horror puzzle game, by the same studio responsible for the entire Persona series, focuses on Vincent Brooks. The updated game has 13 unique endings, and in one of those endings, the protagonist falls in love with a demon succubus named Catherine. In that ending, Catherine travels back in time to when Vincent was in high school, and from there, they date until eventually getting married. Vincent also makes an appearance in Persona 3, 2 years before the first Catherine game was released. In Persona 3, Vincent complains about nightmares, infidelity, and a pregnancy scare, all of which are core themes in the Catherine storyline. Persona 3 takes place in 2009. Now, based on the in-game calendar, most people would agree that Persona 5 takes place in 2016. So if Ren is related to the Vincent seen in Persona 3 from 2009, then that would make him only 6 or 7 years old by the time of Persona 5. So is that it? Is this theory already dead? Well, not necessarily. Hear me out. In-game, Persona 5 states that it takes place in 20XX. Is it possible that this is slightly farther in the future than fans realize? Ren is supposed to be around 16 years old in Persona 5, which would require the game to take place in 2026 if Ren was conceived around the events of finding Vincent in Persona 3. But the dates on the game calendar only match up with 3 years, 2016, 2022, and 2033. Now, 2022 is a little too early. Ren would maybe be 12 or 13 years old at best. So for now, let's keep assuming that Persona 5 takes place in 2016. So what else would allow us to fix this timeline? Well, the obvious two options are from either past Persona games or Catherine herself. I mean, she is a time-traveling demon after all. But let's start with the previous entries in the Persona series first. In Persona Q, characters from Persona 3 and 4 are taken from their respective time periods by an unknown force and placed into a pocket dimension. And then in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, characters from Persona 3 and 4 are once again taken out of their worlds and forced to fight in a new metaphysical realm. In both of these games, characters who had previously died are resurrected and forced to join the characters from different points in the series' timeline. These games not only prove that time travel exists in the Persona universe, but that the franchise makes a habit of plucking characters out of older stories and jamming them into crossover games. But, I understand if you don't want to count the numerous spin-offs and crossovers. Look no further than the mainline entry Persona 2. At the conclusion of that game, the characters are manipulated by a demon and the world gets destroyed as a result. The group sacrifices their memories in order to change the entire world's history. This act creates a brand new timeline for the rest of the Persona series. So, demons, time travel, pocket dimensions, they're all pretty canon to Persona's universe at this point. And that all brings me back to the titular Catherine with a C. Not only is she a demon, but she travels back in time with very little effort. She goes back to when Vincent was in high school and changes his life, as well as the lives of his closest friends. She maintains a life as a human and eventually goes on to marry Vincent.
No matter what, I'll do whatever it takes to keep you happy. Forever.
Catherine and Vincent end up having at least 4 children, 3 girls and a boy. Is this boy Ren Amamiya? Did something happen to transport Ren back in time and put him into the events of Persona 5? Oh, but wait, there's more. Let us not forget about Ishtar, the goddess or demon, depending on who you ask, who appears in various forms throughout both Persona and Catherine. In the Joker DLC for Catherine Full Body, Ishtar interacts with the Phantom Thieves after pulling the group into a shared dream where she tests Ren's true abilities. And let's be honest, Ren has more than a few special tricks up his sleeves.
You pay attention to me!
Special abilities aside, the resemblance between Ren and his would-be parents is also pretty strong. I mean, just look at these features. And finally, before disappearing, Ishtar calls Ren a heartbreaker, a title which would also be very applicable to the protagonist of Catherine, Mr. Vincent Brooks.
Oh, dear leader, you look like a heartbreaker. Don't get carried away, okay?
There are definitely a ton of in-universe explanations as to how something like this could be possible. But hey, what do you think? Could there be something to this, or am I just reading too much into something that's actually fan service? Let me know in the comments. Also, I want to give a big and long overdue shout out to Mushroom Intruder for their fan art. It is really cool, and you should go check out their channel for more awesome art. Link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and take care.